the Leonard Real Estate Group. So I want to say Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Thank you for having us, and I understand congratulations are in order. You guys, for the second year, are the top producer of real estate, selling real estate here in Miami Springs. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Thank you. First of all, Happy New Year to you and all your subscribers. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this is our second year in a row that we ended up, this year doubling our sales from the previous year, and we do work hard and try to get the results that people expect.
So tell us a little bit about 2018, kind of a heck of a year. Tell us a little bit more about what happened last year, a little recap.
Well, last year was a very busy year for us, and the market was very active. There was 104 properties that were sold, and I'm talking single family homes. In the Miami Springs market, there was about 19 properties sold in Virginia Gardens.
Okay.
So it was active, and if you compare that number to 2017, they were pretty close. In 2017, there were 100 properties that were sold in Miami Springs.
Relative to the longer term, that's above average markets.
It's above average market, and as far as the volume of sales. But when you compare 2017 to 2018, we sold 100. We, meaning the market, sold 104 properties.
Right.
Compared to 100 in 2017, and when you look at the total volume, you were looking about 39 million in 2017, and this year 44 million.
Wow!
So that was a considerable increase. So
about 13% increase in total sale volume. So from 2017 there was 39 million to 2018 it was 44 million. That's about 13% more total sales that were done this year than last year.
Wow.
And you could attribute that to there were more expensive homes sold this year compared to last year, and there were bigger homes sold.
Also,
the square footage.
The price seems to have gone up year over year on average.
Yes, the prices have gone up. When you compare the average price of a home this year was about $429,000 in Miami Springs, compared to 2017. It was $390,000.
Wow.
Again, every house is different, every house is unique, but we're talking averages. So the average sale price 2017 was $390, this year $429.
Wow,
and that's about
a significant increase.
Yeah, it's almost $40,000 increase in value. It's about a 10% jump in average sales.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean that your house in Miami Springs is going to increase by 10% per year.
Right.
That just means that the total average sale increased 10%.
Okay.
Right? But what we saw in the property increase, we were talking about a 5% increase.
On the price per square feet?
On the price, no, the price per square foot dropped. But we were looking at inflation property values.
Right.
We're looking at it from 2017 to 2018 was about 5%.
What's the typical growth normally year over year?
Well, you've had definitely in the last 3-5 years, you've had double-digit growth. Not just in Miami Springs, but across the board. In Dade County and for most of the nation. I don't see double-digit growth next year.
Going in 2019.
No, I see things slowing down a little bit. That's partly because of the interest rates.
Right.
That have been little by little creeping up. If you look at interest rates, and Sean can get into a little bit, what it means to a typical buyer, but at the beginning of the year in 2018, the interest rates were under 4%. Ending the year, they were hovering at 5%, maybe just under 5%, maybe a little bit over 5%.
Right.
So, that difference in the interest rate makes a huge difference in what the actual payment will be on a typical $400,000 home. Maybe you want to show some numbers on what the monthly payment could be.
Yeah, so that I think Charlie and I both agree that the interest rates is really a driving factor in the overall market, in how many people are buying and what prices are. Because if the interest rates are going up, it means that the seller has to kind of adjust their expectations of their value because the buyer can't afford as much. So interest rates are a huge, huge factor. And 1% may not seem like a lot, but it's a big jump. So for example, if at the beginning of January the interest rates were about 3.8%, they skyrocketed to about 5%, and that was at the high. So let's say that you bought a $400,000 home at 3.8% at the low.
Right.
Your payment would be $2,150. Okay.
That's on a 30-year fixed.
Oh, I'm sorry. That would be that's at the 5%. Let me back up. If you bought at $400,000 at an interest rate of 3.8%
Right.
at the low,
Right.
your payment would be $1,875, and that's not including taxes, insurance,
Just
and all
the
that.
P&I, principal and interest.
Yeah, just the principal. And
On
interest.
that's assuming a 30-year fixed.
Yep.
Okay.
Assuming a 30-year fixed.
Go.
The same house, all the same details. At a 5%, it would be $2,147.
Yeah.
So that's $275,000 or $275 per month. But your interest goes from the interest that you pay is $100,000 more
Right.
over the life of the loan. It's a huge increase.
Yeah.
So it makes a big difference, 1%. And we are definitely expecting interest rates to continue at an upward trend next year from 5%. Maybe another percent by the end of the year, 6% or possibly more.
1% does make a difference. From a historical standpoint, I remember, I think my parents, I think this is in the late 80s, my dad jumping up and down because he had refinanced to like an 8%, mortgage. And so still 5% from a long-term historical standpoint, still pretty good, right?
It's very good still. You got to remember that during the economic crisis, the interest rates went down. Some people were getting mortgages at 3%, 3.25%.
Wow.
So even at 5%, even at 6%, it's still going to be very attractive. And I'm sure your father was jumping up very high, because I remember when I bought my first house, we were jumping very high, and we got 10.75% interest.
Wow.
Through a lotto.
Wow. Wow.
In order to buy the house, of course, the property cost $70,000.
Yeah, right. It was different.
Very high too.
So everything you gotta put into perspective. But yeah, the interest rates are gonna creep up this year, and it's going to keep some possibly first-time buyers out of the market.
Right.
Because that difference will determine whether they qualify or not. So now that's good news for landlords, because there's still going to be a demand for rental properties.
Right.
Because if you can't buy it, you're going to have to rent, because you have to live somewhere.
But the rents even have gotten so high for some folks that they may be paying close to what a mortgage payment, even at 5 or even 6%, could be.
You're absolutely right.
But it's the startup costs, right? Because you might be able to afford $2,200 or $2,500 a month, but what you can't afford is $35,000 to have
out of
pocket to buy the house. So that's why rents are always going to be more attractive. $2,500 rent is going to be more attractive than a $2,500 mortgage. Just you still need that $35,000.
But even a rental, you still got to have some out of pocket, because they need the first, last and a security, and so there's still out of pocket. So it's a matter of saving that extra amount to get that.
It's
that first down payment in.
Yeah, if you can do it, if you have the startup cash, it's always going to be more attractive to buy. No matter what, if the interest rates go to 7%, it's still going to be more attractive to buy than to rent, because you're putting equity into your house,
right?
And it's basically a little savings account that you have that's growing.
No, and you have you can deduct your interest for your income tax returns.
Right.
And it's an investment that you make, because anything that you rent, the reality is that money goes and you'll never see it again. That's the truth.
It's
but when you buy, at least you're seeing some of it.
Right.
Reducing your principal on your loan. So yeah, whenever you can buy, but what happens also is that sometimes people make the money, but they're self-employed and it's harder to qualify. So it's very important when to come up with a plan and a strategy if you are planning to buy. There's certain things that people should not do, and there's certain things people should do if they're planning to buy. Because if you don't plan it the right way, you can shoot yourself in the foot and not qualify, maybe delay the purchase. So it's very important to plan if you're going to buy certain things that you must do.
Now let me ask you, do you find the typical Miami Springs buyer is buying their first home, or is this a second or third home that they, in terms of their life cycle of buying homes?
Well, I'm. This year we saw a little bit of everything.
Okay.
We saw a lot of first-time buyers, a lot of younger families moving into the area. You know, they're hearing about our beautiful city, all the beautiful amenities that we have.
Family friendly.
Family friendly. You can ride your bike. You can take a walk. You know, people are love that.
Right.
And you're in the middle of this metropolis called Miami-Dade County, but yet, like a lot of people say, you're back to Mayberry, RFD, you know.
Right.
I don't know how many people remember that, but Leave It to Beaver, maybe.
Right, yeah. But it's the oasis inside Greater
it's the
Miami.
Oasis, you know. So we've seen a lot of younger families coming in, raising their kids. I mean, Sean is a perfect example. You know, they bought their house this last year and they're raising their firstborn.
And we were first-time home buyers.
And they were first-time home buyers, but we've also seen people that have taken the opportunity because of the low interest rates and the increase in values to upgrade.
Right.
You know, they selling a smaller house in order to buy a bigger house. So we've seen that as well. And we've also seen people that have actually, you know, left the Springs because they've either relocated or they're elderly and they're gone to a community where everything's included and they feel it's all new. People, seniors especially, you know, they
Right.
want to downsize, so they've done a lot of that as well.
Yeah, I think we saw a good amount of that as far as downsizing and an older generation kind of, lowering the size of the house.
Right.
And then a new generation coming in to a bit of an older house and putting the money into to kind of update it. So I think that that's what my generation is looking for. And I know a lot of people my age that are just starting to hear about Miami Springs and like the older homes, good bones, great location. And they want to buy because they want to put money in and build equity in the house.
You had mentioned online about it possibly switching from a seller's market to either neutral or buyer's market. In terms of the current state, it feels like it's still a seller's market. Am I wrong?
It's in transition.
Okay.
Right? And I think the definition, Charlie, of the seller's market is the certain amount of inventory that is available.
Okay.
So and it's based on months. So if you have 6 months of inventory, it's considered a buyer's market.
Okay.
If you have lower than 6 months inventory, it's considered a
Seller's market.
A seller's
Seller's market,
market.
okay.
So we're in transition where we're seeing a little bit of increase in inventory. Prices are beginning to drop a little bit based on the interest rates. So it's shifting, but it still is technically a seller's market.
Okay.
Right. We're still in a seller's market, and when Sean says price decrease, what he's referring to is listed properties, price adjusting, and they're price adjusting downward because again, the effect of the interest rates, you know what I mean, makes it less affordable.
Right.
So sellers, a lot of sellers want to take advantage of a good market, so sometimes they price the house a little bit higher than
Right.
they should, and then they find themselves reducing it. The best strategy is price it right, and you'll sell it right. You're not going to have problems appraising, and you'll sell it quick. Let's get into some fun facts.
Sure. What do you got for me?
All right, the most expensive property sold this last year was 374 Hunting Lodge Drive. It sold for $1,450,000. It was a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home in 5,680 square feet.
Yeah, that is a beautiful house.
Beautiful house. It was built in 1950, so that was the largest house sold, not only square feet, but price-wise.
Wow.
The newest house sold was a property that we sold, which was 1105 Bluebird Avenue.
Another beautiful home. That was gorgeous.
Yeah, beautiful home. That was built in 2014, so it was the newest property sold. And that sold for $999,500.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it was 3,775 square feet. The oldest house sold.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
The newest.
The oldest.
The oldest house sold was built in 1925.
Wow.
Okay, and it was at 309.
Post World War I, pre World War II.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait, 1929?
1925.
25. So pre Miami Hurricane, the Great Miami Hurricane
Miami Hurricane.
of 27.
29, I think. No, 27.
I'm pretty sure it's 27.
Yeah. So there you go. So, like they said, they don't build them like they used to.
Where was that one located?
That was located at 309 Missouri Way.
Wow.
It sold for $430,000.
Wow.
It was a 5-bedroom, 4-bath. Obviously, they had been upgraded. 2,207 square feet. But it was originally built in 1925.
Well, that home is about to approach the century mark.
Just about.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
just
pretty
about.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat. Now,
So that goes to show you don't have to be scared necessarily of an older home.
absolutely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
Wow.
I mean, when you travel outside of, let's say, Miami-Dade or even outside of Florida,
Right.
you see some homes in the northeast. You know, they're 150 years old, wood frame, and they're in incredible condition.
Well, and then here obviously it's a lot of construction because of the concrete. You know, the
Yeah.
concrete's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
It's going to stay.
Well, here I would always recommend to any buyer to buy a concrete home, you know, block home, CBS home. Even though outside of Florida you see a lot of wood frame homes, that's not a good thing here in Dade County. You have the termite issues, and you have the perception that they're not as strong as the block home, especially in a hurricane.
Hurricane situation. I would not want my family in a wood frame home.
I would relocate them. Okay, the smallest house sold was located at 32 Hammond Drive, and it was a small 2-1, 838 square feet.
838 square feet?
838 square feet, and that sold for $315,000.
And that was also the highest price per square foot, right? At
And that was the highest price per square foot.
So $315,000 for an 830 some square foot house last year. Wow, that's pretty incredible.
$375 a square foot.
Now, Sean, I know you always like to clarify this. Just because a home has a high dollar per square footage, you can't necessarily translate the dollar per square footage to every house because there's a lot of factors, right?
Yeah, of course.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Okay, so let's give the range first.
Right.
We're about to say the lowest price per square foot. Do you mind if I do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jump in?
The lowest
Okay,
price?
so the lowest price per square foot in Miami Springs was $89.
$89 per square foot.
$89 per square foot.
And how many square feet did that house have?
That house had over 3,000 square feet, 3,137, and that's at 930 North Royal Poinciana. Sold for $280,000. So that's $89 a square foot. The highest is $375 a square foot. So as you see, there's a huge range in price per square feet in Miami Springs. Okay, and what you typically see is on a scale from lowest price per square foot to highest price per square foot, there's an inverted relationship, right? So the bigger houses sell for lower price per square foot, and the smaller houses sell for higher price per square feet. That's not always necessarily true. For example, this newer home on Bluebird sold for a great price per square feet because it was brand new and it was gorgeous. So we got a really, really good price per square foot.
This is a luxury house that had a lot of luxury amenities inside of it. If you're buying a remodel project that needs to, but wants to be teared down inside,
exactly.
The price per square foot.
So it depends largely on the home, but for the most part, smaller the house means higher price per square foot. Larger the house means lower price per square foot.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I appreciate that because sometimes people question the dollar per square footage and don't sometimes understand it.
Charlie does a great market report on Monday.
Yeah, I like to explain it this way. You go to Milam's and you could buy a nice Red Delicious apple and it may cost you $2.50 a pound, but you can buy a bag of Red Delicious apples, a 3-pound bag, and maybe it costs you $2.
Right.
You know what I mean, for the whole bag, or $3 for the whole bag. So you get more apples for the price.
For the dollar, right.
Right.
It's the Costco theory.
Right. So that's what happens with the larger homes. They cost more, but when you break it down price per square feet, it's actually less per square feet.
But at the end of the day, you need to analyze your house, specifically your house, and what it looks like. You need to get a market analysis by a licensed realtor and make sure that they run the market analysis for you, because your house may not fall into that category. It may be a little bit different. It may have different variables. So make sure you get a market analysis to give you the details on what your house is worth.
And can you tell me, what do you guys charge for a market analysis?
Nothing.
So this is a free service?
Yeah, it's part of the service.
Excellent. So someone who's curious maybe doesn't really understand where their house could sell for, and they might be interested in selling. Maybe they got a new job, they need to relocate. and they're nervous right now because selling a home is a big deal, and so someone who might be nervous, not sure where to price it at, they may be looking online. What do you recommend for them to do?
Shoot Charlie and I an email or pass by the office, connect with us on Facebook, connect with us any way that you want. Talk to us about your situation. We'll send you a market analysis. We'll run the report for you. You can come into the office. We can come to you and kind of review it to let you know how we did it and what it means. And if you decide not to list your house or not to list with us, we're not charging you anything for it. It's a service that we do, for people who are interested in knowing what their house is worth.
So someone who's curious, who may be contemplating whether they should sell it, maybe they will rent it, someone who's kind of been, have a property. People are in situations sometimes they have a property, debating whether rent, sell it, what to do with it. You recommend come on in, get a free market analysis.
Yeah. We'll tell them, what their house is worth, and we'll give them some ideas, some options, and maybe the best thing for them is to rent the house, and not sell it, or maybe the best thing is to sell it. It depends what their plans are and where they are in this particular situation in their life.
Right.
And that's and again, I look at houses like fingerprint. Everyone has a unique fingerprint. Every house is unique. So it's important to go see the house, see what they've done, what they haven't done, maybe give them recommendations of what they should do if they plan to sell, so they could try to get the maximum value for the property.
And again, I want to congratulate you guys for being the #1 producing team in Miami Springs.
Thanks.
for the second year in a row. So accomplishing that isn't easy. Tell us, to someone who's curious in terms of deciding what realtor to work with, what makes you guys different and special, and that people come to you guys and work with you.
Well, I think that the market knowledge, we have the market knowledge not just by reviewing the numbers and actually selling properties and listing properties, but I've lived here for 35 years. So, I know the market very, very well. My daughters grew up here, they went to school here. So, you need to have someone that really knows the community, knows the amenities, knows the market, and that gives you the real value of the property. And also, what is their strategy to market and sell your property? And we have unique methods, and Sean can talk a little bit more about some of the things that we do. Not everything that we do, but
Some trade secrets.
so but we have our formula and our method, and we've been successful with it. And the other thing is, we work hard. We put the time in. We give the sellers and the buyers, we put the time in and get the result that they expect.
Someone who's interested in buying in the market also benefits from reaching out and working with a realtor, as opposed to shopping for homes by themselves. Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm. It's free. For the most, there's usually like a small, $200, $250 service charge.
Right.
Most realtors charge up to $600, $700. But for the most part, it's a free service for buyers to work with a realtor, and there's no reason why not to do it. You're going to get a better price. It's going to be more efficient. You don't have to be figuring out, is this estimate accurate? Is this thing online even available anymore? Just work with a realtor. It's a lot easier, and you're not paying pretty much any money out of pocket to do it.
Well, the other side of that is that if you're out there shopping alone, you're not being represented by anyone. The seller's being represented by their agent.
Right.
The seller's agent. So it behooves you to have your buyer's agent that represents you in the negotiation and all that. So, it's a good idea to have a broker represent you when you're buying, just like it is when you're selling.
Find that most buyers come with a realtor, or you find that most buyers are doing it on their own?
95% have a realtor.
Really?
Yeah, I would say so. You'll get the, for example, when we're at open houses, let's say we get 20 people inside the house, maybe 1 or 2 of them will be that home buyer that is not working with a realtor, and that's fine. If you want to try and work without the realtor, that's your prerogative. But for the most part, buyers are coming with a realtor.
Find that buyers are doing a lot of the research online
Right.
without a realtor, but when it comes down to actually going to see the properties and pull the trigger, they're usually represented.
Anything else about what's going on in the real estate market or here at the Leonard Real Estate Group that you guys like to share with the folks in Miami Springs?
Oh, we're excited about 2019. We think it's going to be a good year for the market. I don't anticipate anything, crazy. Pretty much stable like the last couple of years. Maybe the inventory will increase because of the interest rates, but it should be a good year. It's still going to be a good environment. Interest rates will go up.
That does put pressure on buyers to say, hey, like hurry and get it done
Absolutely.
before
Again,
rates go up higher.
The example that Sean gave you, I mean, just half a point difference, can be a huge increase in interest payments. But yeah, the market should be, the same. Inventory should increase a little bit, but we expect nothing crazy, pretty much stable. But we will be seeing the transition going into more of a buyer's market, especially as the interest rates start to go up later this year.
It's kind of a golden time for both sides, though. If you're a buyer, the best time to sell or the best time to buy really is now. And if you're a seller, the best time to sell is probably now. You're going to get the most amount of money. For a buyer, you're probably going to get the lowest interest rate. So it's a good time either way.
Tell us how to reach the Leonard Real Estate Group.
Well, they can call me directly. My phone number is 305-726-8416. They can also reach us by email, charlie@theLeonardRealEstateGroup.com.
You can reach out to us on Facebook at Leonard Real Estate Group, Instagram at Leonard Real Estate Group. You can also call me 786-205-0187 or email me sean.e.pascale@gmail.com.
Excellent.
Or pass by the office, 190 Westwood Drive.
Perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate it, guys, and just hopefully 2019 will be another record year for you guys, and also the top producing team for the third year.
Here's the
So,
2019.
Here's to 2019. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
I appreciate it.